All right, Bruchim Aboyim, welcome everybody. Today is Columbus Day, and I wanted to talk, even though I'm going to work today, I want to talk a little bit about the significance of Columbus and the bringing of Moshiach. This is something that actually, believe it or not, the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh spoke about. And so I wanted to share this idea a little bit, even though he didn't mention Columbus by name. But the Columbian Exchange was the most significant event in possibly the last 1,000 years. And the long-term effects of the Columbian Exchange had affected this planet not only culturally, but geologically, zoologically, in botany, all kinds of things. And so for that reason, it's a very important thing. And so also there's the spiritual quality to this. I know a lot of people are talking about the discoveries that were just announced about Columbus and certainly having Jewish ancestry, which is something that's been discussed for about 40 years now, based on a lot of things that he wrote, and it's very well known that much of his crew was Jewish, and although it seemed he was a Meshumid, whether he was secretly a Moran or this or that, at least we don't know, or he had some sort of an eclectic approach. In any event, with all that being said, I think the more significant aspect, and why we have to keep it as Columbus Day, is to remember the significance of the Columbian Exchange. And even though it caused tremendous hardship, it is still a source of pride for Italian Americans, which I am. I'm a quarter Italian. My father's mother, her parents came from Italy. All my grandparents were born here. And certainly, I know, hearing on the radio yesterday, Curtis Sliwa talking about how St. John's University is removing any references to Columbus Day from their records, which was very disappointing. And it was funny how he was talking about Galileo and Copernicus. Copernicus was Polish, and have to have some of the Polish pride, and my father, of course, his father's family were from Poland, going back, although all my grandparents are all Americans. All four of my grandparents were born here. But in any event, I know my father used to call Curtis Sliwa on the radio, and he would say how proud he was of his son who learns in yeshiva. My father, blessed memory, is coming with my Zayda's yahrzeit. My Zayda was a big Baal Chesed. But in any event, I was thinking about it last night, how upset my father would be about that, because he was a big fan of St. John's basketball, growing up in Jamaica, Queens, moving over into Floral Park later. My grandpa had a body shop there, and then since his mother was Italian and she made the Italian food and everything, there's all of that aspect. But what I wanted to speak of in the Torah sense, in the Jewish sense, is again what we said from the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh. Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh said that tobacco was only revealed to the old world at that time in history with the Columbian Exchange, because it's very fine, the tzotzos de kedusha, holy sparks in tobacco, that had to be elevated by Jews in order to bring Moshiach. It seems very strange to us that our culture is very against smoking today, and I don't smoke. And once in a while, I'll have a cigar on what do you call it? On what's that day? Purim. I don't do that. I think this year I had a few puffs and a cigar just for that this Purim, if I remember properly. I don't really even know how to smoke a cigar. My father used to smoke cigars. But it's something that by the tzaddikim was a big Indian, Ma'al Kataris. And so that impact and that concept is a very important part of, according to the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, and who are any of us to argue with the Baal Shem Tov, of being Ma'al Netzitzis. And I would say the same thing goes for other species that only came into the old world, particularly the potato. The fascinating aspect of how the potato became so ubiquitous in Europe that Ireland suffered a crisis when they had the potato famine, when they only had potatoes for about 300 years, and how much that changed the culture. And so too, lahavdil, by us, Eden, the potato kugel, having potatoes in cholent, potato latkes, all these aspects of the potato became somewhat even, we could say, sanctified in that same way that tobacco also became sanctified in the Hasidic devotions. It's actually very fascinating how similar the Hasidic approach to tobacco, without any knowledge, as far as I can tell, of the indigenous use of tobacco, how similar it really is, or was at one point. Again, it's not as popular, although still in the Hasidic world, smoking cigarettes is still a major avoda and very much part of the culture, but less than it used to be. I myself, I don't like the smell of cigarettes at all. Cigars, I think, smell nice, but cigarettes I really find personally offensive, but I understand the Indian, and so certain tzaddikim, the Lelever Rebbe's made a big Indian of smoking Cham Motzei Shabbos Melukma. The same thing by the Sklener Rebbe, Chosino Leno, I remember the big avoda Motzei Shabbos, the few puffs that the Sklener Rebbe's Chosino Leno, I used to go a lot to Sklen. And so with all this being said, we hope and pray that Takali seems that most of the netzitzis were lifted from tobacco, and that's why the use has gone down. So now that we're coming, it seems, we don't know for sure, but it seems we're at least a point where the eschatology can very much be used to bring the total Eskalas Kvod Shemayim. So if we do use these items, and whatever else the netzitzis that are here in this country, we are working in part of this aspect of bringing the ultimate redemption. And so we have to have in mind these items, and those who use tobacco should use it with proper intentions and praise God for whatever good feelings they have from it. Again, I don't understand that myself. That's not where my Shorish Neshama is. Certainly the potatoes, whatever we use in other American foods that were native to the Western Hemisphere, we should be having the proper intentions. Even if we don't know the intentions, we should say whatever this is, L'Shem Shemayim. Certainly on Shabbos and Yontiv, we're eating potatoes, that we have to have in mind this idea that we're bringing, that it's L'Shem Shemayim, and to get to be Ma'al Netzitzis, to pick up the holy sparks, that's the covered Shabbos, the covered Yontiv, and to have energy to serve God, and whatever else we do. And in that way, or turkey is another example for those who eat turkey, which most of the Klal Yisrael do today. And the Baal Shem Tov said that the turkey is kosher. It's also part of that aspect of being Ma'al Netzitzis. If you're eating turkey on Shabbos or Yontiv or at any time, or the Suda Seidoah, and it's all these things we should have in mind to be Ma'al Netzitzis and to bring our little bit of Eskalas Kvod Shemayim now, and hopefully with the ultimate Gula Mitzvahs with Shleimim Meher Remain Amen. All right. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. We'll see you soon.